How's it going, fellas, and welcome to the channel where I kick back, relax and talk NBA 2K23, and I can't believe I'm making this video in November, fellas. Is NBA 2K23 actually dead, going from one of the greatest 2Ks that we've seen in a very long time to a game that can't even keep players around longer than a month or two? And why is that? So over the next few minutes, I'm going to be giving all my thoughts and opinions when it comes to the state of NBA 2K23 and is it really dying? So if you like that sort of stuff, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. Do you actually play NBA 2K23 consistently? Leave it all in the comments below. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. Let's get into it. I just want to say, fellas, all my experiences are in the Asian servers, so this might be different for you and might be different for other servers. These are just my experiences, my thoughts, my opinions from the Asian servers. So the first thing I want to talk about is NBA 2K23 dead in November. The game was flying day one. Everyone loved it. The parks were full, the theater mode was buzzing, and even the rec had a mix of players, not just level 40, grinding, sweaty players, playing like it's an NBA championship. 2 months later, most parks are pretty much dead, fellas. Most of the theater modes are a ghost town. There are some poppin' events from time to time, but for the most part, you're playing the same handful of players every single night. And if you're a solo player, you are really spending more time out of the game than what you are in it, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse the longer as it goes, fellas. I just want to be able to pick up the controller and fucking play the game. Just pick up and play. That's all I want. Is that so much to ask? I don't want to have to run around a city trying to find a populated mode just to get a game of basketball. The next thing I want to talk about, I just have to talk about the community, fellas, and the need to win a virtual video game. Do players actually have fun doing the same thing over and over and over again, building the same build each and every year, using the same animations as everybody else, the same dunk styles as everybody else? This is one of the main killers of NBA 2K23 because every game feels the same, and casuals don't stick around for that. Most players loved NBA 2K23 in the first week because nobody had found the meta yet. We were going up against 6'1", 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", 6'9", 7'1", 7'3", and everything in between. We were going through every single build and it was fun to play, fun to defend against. But now that players have found the meta, this game has just become like every other 2K. We need variety to keep player attention. And when 2K don't patch builds, once the meta is found, the game just breaks and they don't care, because making a new meta isn't a bad thing. Patching a meta creates a new meta, which creates gameplay variety, which isn't a bad thing. But when the builds and all the gameplay is tied to attributes that we have to spend money for, they just aren't willing to budge anything, and we're just stuck with a broken game for the next 10 months. I know I'm sounding like a broken record when I say gameplay variety is the ultimate thing killing this game. It's boring. I want to play different positions, I want to play different play styles, but paying hundreds of dollars to get that is a fucking joke. I'm actually thinking about doing it so I can have one or two more builds, but I don't really want to do it. But I don't think I can keep this channel going, fellas, without doing it, because it's just getting monotonous being the same build over and over and over again. And another thing, a lot of casual players got fucked over by content creator build videos, because they would build these builds that these content creators were going to be the best builds of NBA 2K23, and then the next week they're on to something else. They don't care. They just spend the money and buy a new build, but those casuals are stuck on broken builds, and a very high percentage of those players just stop playing the game. Heaps of people are saying Christmas noobs will save this game. They are talking out their ass crack if they're relying on new casual players to save this game, because it ain't happening. Christmas casuals get lied to about this game time and time again each year. Oh, this is the best 2K ever, this is a great 2K, and then they get on it and they see the game is designed to force players to pay for VC just to compete. And with Warzone 2 coming out, plus so many other games becoming free, I don't see Christmas noobs buying this game. But if they do buy this game, we won't see them until February when they beat the My Career. And it's not just the community that's the problem. 2K have their own problems as well. Pretty much, fellas, we've played the same game for the last 5, maybe 10 years. Yes, a few things have changed here and there, but for the most part, we started a 60 overall, we go to a 99 overall, getting badges along the way. There's only so many times I can be reset, and most players probably think the same way. They're just getting very sick to death of being reset every single year. As I said, you could probably go back further than 5, maybe 10 years. It's all the same shit, the same rewards, the same animations, the same attributes, the same badges. They just changed the badge names. Like, come on. Really? Like, they just changed the badges and expect us to just grind it again. Like, come on. The tier system is cool, but is it really any different? So the next thing I want to talk about is 2K's marketing team. They need a raise, fellas, because we get sucked in each and every year in the hopes that it's going to be different. They sell us everything that the game isn't. We have optimism. We have belief that the game might change, that it could be different, and then we load into the game, play it for a month, and realize it's the same old shit, just with a different twist. And we are left searching for a basketball game that actually cares about the players and actually cares about the game itself and not just the number and the dollars. But I have to admit, 2K did get a lot of things right this year. They gave us what we wanted. We wanted a harder way to be a legend. They gave us that. They really did. They added a bunch of cool new content to buy and unlock. It could be better, but it's way better than what it has been in previous years. But even that wasn't enough to keep players sticking around. Rewards are great, but at the end of the day, if the gameplay is boring, the rewards really don't matter. Please don't let NBA 2K23 die. 2K, I know they won't see this, but they've gone quiet again, which is one of the scariest things that we've had, because every time they go quiet, we don't see any fixes, we don't see any patches, we don't see any improvements till the game, and we're forced to buy the game next year in just the hopes that they patch or improve the things that are broken the previous years, and the cycle continues. Please, get on the front foot, because it's not our fault that 2K or you guys can't make a game worth playing for 12 months. Because let's be real, what are we meant to do for the other 10? The next thing I want to talk about is how to bring players back. A brand new park mode that brings the fun back to the game, just like the 2K League, a mode with preset builds and overalls. Even if it's for no VC, I don't really care, but the perfect place to do this is in the theater. Bring back the fun, guys. Get creative with the events in the theater. Even make a 5th room and make it the most popular room from last week, so we can keep at least one popular game mode per week, because some weeks are terrible, fellas. They really are. Some weeks are great with start every game with takeover and things like that, but then other weeks double alley-oops and things like that. Nobody gives a shit about that. And when players see this terrible events week after week, they go and play a different game and they don't come back. There has to be thought and effort put in each week to each event, because just giving us random crap isn't enough. So the last thing I want to talk about before I get into the final thoughts is reworking the rebirth build. Instead of making this reward a cash grab, make it a reward worth getting. The extra badges are nice, yes, but we need attributes too. This is never going to happen, because as I said, this reward is just a cash grab in the hopes players go from a 60 to a 90 using VC instead of grinding, because it is a joke trying to grind a 60 overall player. Even in my career, you're playing 40, 50, 60 games of all-star or superstar difficulty just to compete online, and it becomes a joke. It really does. The fact that I've got to do this each and every time I want to change builds is a fucking disgrace. So the last thing I want to talk about is just a few final thoughts, and 2K is a game designed to fail. It's just there to suck up every little bit of cash from its players as it can before they leave. They don't want old players to come back. They just want new players, hoping that these players will buy VC. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a fun experience. It's not fun to play solo. It's not fun to be a new casual player to this game. It's impossible for casual players to play with their friends because the game is designed around VC and not around gameplay. It's funny that players actually think that any 2K is a good game. It might be a good NBA 2K game, but it's definitely not a good video game. So the question is 2K actually dead? It's getting worse and worse, fellas, week by week, with so many places to play and spreading the player base all across the city. This game feels dead a lot of the time. The start of the season or a big event, yeah, there's a few people around having a good time and the game feels somewhat alive, but for the most part, on a day-to-day basis, this game is dead. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. If you do like these rant, raves, whatever you want to call them, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below all your thoughts and opinions when it comes to NBA 2K23. Is it dead, or are you playing it more than ever? But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch us later.